record now. Hi, this is a video modeling the third grade intervention kit 3.0 on representing and showing understanding of multiplication, division, single facts. So to start out, there's a recording sheet. I am going to show how you would administer this intervention, and Ms. M is going to be the student. So I would write Maria's name on the sheet and the date, and then I would start out by doing the warm-up, which is to take these little strips of laminated paper that say true or false on them, take and read it to the student, and it could be just one student or it could be a group, and they would each need to have a marker board marker and eraser to use if they needed to. And so Maria, true or false, is 5 times 7 the same as adding 5 times 5 and 5 times 2?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is true because 7 times 5 equals 35.
Okay.
And I know that 5 times 5 equals 25. And 5 times 2 equals 10. And 25 plus 10 equals 35.
Beautiful. And if we had other students, we would quietly each do our own and then share our work. All right, so that's just about 1 minute, so you could keep drawing if they did it that quickly. Maybe you get to 2 cards during the warm-up time. Then we're going to move into the actual activity, which is working on showing that we can we have the understanding of multiplication or division. So the classroom teacher will let you know if you're working on multiplication or division. If you're working on multiplication, you'll use the deck of cards. If you're working on division, you'll use the white set of division cards. So what you're going to do is draw out 2 cards. So I have an ace, which is 11, and it says it on the sheet here, and a 7. So Maria, will you show me that's what the answer is to 7 times 11, and can you draw it in any way to prove it?
11 times 7 is 77. 7 times 1, 7 times 1. And so I will do 7, or I'll draw it here. You can.
So while she's working on that, the last page of the directions has some different methods that they have been taught in the classroom. One is repeated groups, and so if they're having trouble, you could say, oh, how about you draw a repeated group? Or an equal shares drawing, which there's a diagram of this on here, an array drawing, an area model. There's count bys. There's using the inverse operation if they're doing something like division and they, if it's easier to multiply. So they can use any of these different strategies. Okay, Maria, so can you show me how you were able to prove that 11 times 7 is 77?
I drew a box here with 11 times.
Okay, so it looks kind of like an array model. Okay, so now we're going to take for our fun factor, and we have a spinner, a paper clip, and we're going to take the pencil and put it in the center. And would you please spin the spinner? Let's see if you use one of this strategy. Oh, it was count bys. Oh,
count bys.
Okay, so if it was count bys, we'd see if anyone else in the group used it, if they had it correct, and they would win a sticker. All right.
Okay.
Then we would just keep going and do as many different problems as we could in 5 to 6 minutes. If we were working on division, we just use the division cards to come up with the problem and do the same exact process. Okay, then on the recording sheet, I would write down, Maria worked on multiplication for this problem. She was, yes, able to solve it, and yes, she could draw it as well. Okay, now we're just going to wrap it up with the closing, which is multiplication draw, fun little game. So if there's 4 of us here at the table, we're going to play in partners. If there's just the 2 of us, we would just play together. So I'm going to give you 7 and an ace, so we'd have 7 times 11.
77?
Yep, and I have 6 times 8 is 48, so those would be Maria's card. She gets those points. Just to practice these multiplication skills. And if they needed help, they could draw it out, or you could use a multiplication chart. Okay, go ahead, Maria.
I have 8.
Okay, and I have 9 times 11, which is 99. Those are my cards. And we would just keep going for 1 minute to kind of practice our multiplication. Okay.